What's good? Just coming back with a quick little video journal, if you will. I was sitting here thinking, um, just reflecting on some things. I am up super early because I took a late nap due to this, whatever this is, the flu. I think it's the flu, but there's some other energy attached to it too. But I took a really late nap, much needed rest, and uh, I've been up working with my little rescue, Bella, the newest addition to the family. She's over here on her blanket now, sleep. I don't know if you can see her. She she has commandeered a spot. So what I did was I made her an identical blanket to the one that I was working on, and she tried to take the first one, so I had to make her one. And now she's laying on her blanket in my bed. So I'm not too fond of animals in the bed, but she's an inside dog and she's a really sweetheart. So I made her a big ass duvet cover type crochet throw so she can lay up there without putting her doggy on my comforters. So, but I came back because this is a serious video. This is not on no bullshit or on no, fucking with people. This is real. And I was just, I do most of my reflection early in the morning, a lot of journaling early in the morning. And I was just, reflecting back on some personal experiences that I've been through, as well as, just observing and watching certain things that people go through, not just on social media, because whether we want to admit it or not, how we handle our social media pages and stuff has a lot to do and reflects a lot on what we feel about ourselves and how we view situations, other people, and how we respond or react to certain things that go down, while we are on social media. And it's a way to express ourselves, and it's a forum or a medium to be able to, release some things and discuss things and express things. And my focus in this video is on women and low self-esteem, because, we've all battled with that at some point, men and women. But my focus is women in this one because I see it so often, and it's a shame and it's sad, but I've seen a lot of people come and go because of the lack of positive self-speak and not having the tools to know how to really uplift and motivate yourself as a woman, and it ain't nothing new. Black women have been under attack for eons. It didn't just start here on the internet. And I've noticed ever since I was a very young girl, very young, around, I say 14, how, women don't want to really, give it to each other, give each other our props, or, our hard-earned, I don't want to say accolades, but hard-earned credit for the legitimate things that we accomplish, whether it's for others or for ourselves to be better at whatever we do. I noticed that, and it started for me. It started at home with my mama and my sister, and I'm a proud survivor of a narcissistic, mentally ill mother. Not proud of the journey so much to say, because it was painful, but I'm proud to be a survivor of that, and I just try my best to give my kids a childhood that they didn't have to recover from. Now, by far was I perfect, but I wanted to try to make sure that they had fun and they knew that each one of them was different. And no matter what they decided they wanted to do, I would do my very best to try to support that and feed that in a positive way so that their self-esteem would be healthy, and that's very important as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, if you're married, partner, whatever. It's very important to have a healthy self-esteem. And a lot of us have been through so much, you know, even if you did have a healthy home life, society can beat you down, especially as a woman of color, a sun goddess, if you will. And I had to learn healthy self-speak because I had to recover from my childhood. It's ongoing process. It's never a destination you're never really done when you're a product of a dysfunctional, severely, acutely dysfunctional household. And we all have our degree of dysfunction. Ain't nobody's house perfect, family perfect, everybody get along awesome, never any problems. That just don't exist. And it's sadly, on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and all these different social mediums, our community is, I think, the most ruthless community when it comes to how we treat each other, how we respond and react to certain things. And what's really telling about it all is, my grandfather used to always say the first one to stoop to name calling in an argument or debate is automatically the loser. And I can get pretty petty too when it comes to this nonsense on here. And for me, it's really, it's bothersome, and some of the stuff is a little hurtful, but, it's just like anything else in life. I have a tough skin. So I just try to show, the tools that I've learned and how to overcome certain stuff, controversy, whatever. But I noticed that we are the most ruthless, unforgiving towards each other than we are toward other groups of people, and what we'll give one a pass for, we will not give another a pass for because of the fact that there's rivalry there. If I dislike person A, then I'm going to expect person B not to like person A either. And then we're going to go on this mudslinging spree to see how we can continuously, walk all over that person and poke fun of and mock their situation, whatever, and that's another tool, manipulation and smoke and mirrors, if you will. People really think that they have accomplished something when they post or do certain things they do on social media. And sometimes, with some people, it's effective. And sometimes with others, it's not so much, and it's just really, it's really something to look at, something to look deeper into, in my opinion, because I'm always studying something, looking at something, trying to read something, learn something new on how to take an analytical approach at presenting more tools to the community on how to heal and mend some of that broken that we're carrying. And it's really amazing to see how people respond to certain things, whether it's their own or other people situations, and it's very telling. Some of the posts that people make, some of the comments they throw at you, and some of the strong emotions behind something that they proclaim to be just for entertainment purposes only. Uh, it's very telling. And me, I analyze everything, study everything, look at everything, different angles, and try to see, if there's some teachable moment, some takeaway at the end of the day. Because what it's really all about is trying to improve a little bit more every day, trying to get better every day. We take and add up all our mistakes, all our fuck ups, failures, and all of that. And we try to put it all together and take the next step forward and just be a better, stronger person. So saying all that to say this, women, I notice in large numbers in the Black community, have very low self-esteem to begin with. And then with the stigmas and the, standards put on us to be educated, to be well-rounded, to be ladylike, ladyish-ly, whatever, to do all of that, we have to meet such a high bar, when it's with our children, our partners, we have so much riding on our shoulders, and it can get you down sometimes. We all do. We all like, am I doing the right thing? I'm just going through one thing after another, all this bad luck, bad karma coming. What am I doing wrong? And then when something finally does come together and it doesn't fall through, you like, oh, well, I guess I wasn't too far off track. I was able to figure it out and pull myself out of it, or fix it, or ask for help and get it fixed, or what have you. So I noticed, a lot of people in our community with very low self-esteem. And your character is not determined based on how much money you can make, or whatever degree you can obtain, or whatever your accomplishments are. Your character is determined by how you treat other people, and most importantly, how you treat yourself. And I've run into several women along the way who outwardly, they have this tough shell. They have this, rough exterior, and internally they're void. They're void. They're very empty, lost, and confused. And, I remember how it was as a young girl growing up, trying to figure it out, having a mama that was mentally ill and a father that is an enabler. It was a rough journey, but I'm glad that I can reach back and talk about it now to be able to help, hopefully help somebody else who might be going through it and didn't think about certain things because they get kind of distracted with, they get distracted with, just being caught up in the rapture of the crazy making that goes on with, emotional and spiritual and mental and physical attacks coming at them, and I've been on social media for a minute, and it's really nothing new, so each time I see it, it's not really a big surprise. It's just really still, it's still striking though to see how one's life can affect you so deeply that hurt people hurt other people, you know. And I find women, we front a lot. We front a lot because that's what society has conditioned us to do, is put on that smile, especially black women. We front a lot when it comes to our internal pain and, our personal inventory of our esteem, our mental health, our emotional state, it's not valued. It's not valued. There's no value put on a Black woman's self-esteem, because you see those with low self-esteem kicking each other or reaching up to try to criticize those who have a healthier self-esteem, and vice versa. It's all different combinations of abuse among women that I've noticed over the years. It seems like it's getting worse. It's now where people take pride in seeing how petty they can be, or how cliquish they can be, or how catty they can be toward each other, especially if it's a fallout or a minor disruption in the peace. People are always forced to choose a side. That's why I say I always choose righteousness as best I can, because then I know if I choose what's righteous, those who get offended are those that truly never really had good intentions, if that makes sense. I've also noticed where, people tend to give too much credit or put too much weight on someone who is growing into a healthier state, because like, again, it's a journey. It's never a destiny. You're never done improving. And it's just something that really, it's important to me to talk about this, because I've just noticed over the years that it's getting worse, and it's really unfortunate that once you reach a certain age, people's aesthetics and people's income status and people's their faults, mistakes, whatever, fuck ups, it just never seems to really go away. People like to hold on to things because that's really all the ammunition they have to come at another person when they either have been confronted with something, or they have a guilty conscience about something, or they don't want to own up to something. It's a lot of double standards. It's okay for this one to do that, but because you did that, you come off as this strong person. I get it a lot. I get that a lot. People, for some reason, give me too much power and control. I've been told that I let somebody think this or that. You let them think that I was or am or did this or did that. I have been told you didn't say anything about when so and so and so blocked me, and now that person and I are no longer friends, but you're still friends with them on social media, on Facebook, whatever. And it's like, I don't have that type of authority over nobody to tell them who they can and cannot block. I don't have that type of pull, power, force to make somebody like another person or be able to tolerate another person. All I can do is introduce them and just ask them to see if they can mesh, gel. So I'm just working on my little scarf for my brother Beanbag Dude that he asked me for. So you see me looking down, I'm just crocheting like a good grandma. This is just a test run. This is not your color, bro, but I'm just testing it out, getting the patterns, together so I can make you a nice handsome scarf. But anyway, back on what I was saying. I noticed that among a lot of women that I have been in contact with, some of them I'm still in contact with. Others, I send off into the universe with blessings and well wishes. But my mama didn't raise no fool, even though she didn't know no better. Still not a fool. And I see a lot that people don't think I see, and they'd rather believe and tell themselves that, I have to sneak around and look at things. I just use myself for examples. I can't talk about nobody else, what they do, what they think. The only reason why I say I a lot is because I can't speak or think or determine how anybody else should feel. All I can do is offer how I feel and my viewpoint and go from there. But that has happened to me on many occasions where women seem to feel like I have some magical way of making other people do whatever it is that they feel they should be doing. And they have gotten downright pissed off, angry, mad at me because whatever didn't go their way, they felt like I had the magic recipe to fix it. And a lot of times I do. I can fix stuff, and sometimes I can't. And if I don't know about it, or if I'm unaware of it, it's hard for me to really have a say. But that goes with emotionalism. Our community too is highly hypersensitive to a lot of things. And people like to jump the gun, and jump to conclusions and make assumptions. That's very rampant in the Black community, especially among women. And I thought I would talk about it because it's something that I feel really needs to be addressed, and we need to work on healing it. I told a brother recently that I was semi-counseling, really wasn't formally, but it's a very dear brother to me. Your self-speak is very important in the situation. It's difficult right now because you're surrounded by negativity. There's a lot of negative energy around you right now from people who really do not belong in your situation that you're facing right now. And people have that tendency to invite themselves into your situation just to see if they can make it worse and put more stress on you than what's necessary. So at this point, it's a critical time for you to start reprogramming yourself and start using better self-speak. And that's a little technique that I learned going through the process of recovery, on the road to recovery, and falling, making mistakes, going through things, trials and tribulations. And that's another thing in the Black community that we do to each other, men and women alike, is, when you see somebody going through something and you might not like that person, or at one point you had a positive connection and then something happened and you fall out. Usually it's over some petty childish shit, unfortunately. The mental immaturity of people show. It shows. And again, it's very telling how women truly feel about themselves and what their self-speak must sound like, you know, when they don't have anyone to truly really build them up and help them see themselves through a better lens. And when they think that they're confirming something or making a statement or responding to whatever it is that they're responding to, I look at that as just somebody who has a really low self-esteem. Because, you know, you have your ups and downs with people. But the key is, you know, you have an agreement and you try to do it as diplomatic as possible. If you really care about the other person or if you care about people, period. You know, at one point, you had a low point. And Black folks don't like to admit that they have low points and they stumble and fall and have to go through rough times. They don't like to admit it, but for most of us, you know, normal folk, and I use that term loosely, we all have gone through some rough times. Some lasted longer than others. You know, some repeat themselves or revisit, resurface. You know, sometimes people come around and when they see you getting things together and you start focusing on you a little bit more, they only come around to see if they can turn it back upside down again. And then some like me, it's a combination of all of that. Because I give until it hurt, you know, and that's probably why I am not filthy rich now, because if I had it like that, I'd probably give it all away. You know, and what little I do have that's not set aside for my own, I try to share as much as I can while still trying to maintain myself. And I'm a very simple person personally. You know, I don't really need a lot of stuff. It's just I do a lot of investment in educational tools, you know, and arts and crafts, stuff like that. So, you know, that's my guilty pleasure, is doing stuff with my hands, magic, healing. I've always loved divination and trying to heal what is broken within, whether it's myself or others. My grandmother used to always tell me that you're going to try to save the world. You're going to try to save everybody. And you'll be very deeply hated for that. And a lot of people won't understand it. However, you have a special gift, and I want you to always use it. And I promised her I would. And that's what I am trying to do, is make my grandmother happy in her memory, because that's where I got all my Lady Ishley from. I'm very grateful for that. So, you know, women, you know, we can be some real motherfuckers when we want to. And it's sad. It really is sad and unfortunate. And it hurts in a way for me, because it don't hurt my feelings per se, but it hurts to see that someone is hurting that much to where they can't just really walk away from something gracefully. You know, a lot of Black women, you know, we can't be diplomatic and graceful about shit in a lot of situations. And that's the reason why I clap back at a lot of people. That's the reason why I fuck with some people, is because what could have been left and what, just back away slowly, gracefully, and move forward. Like my auntie said when I was little, niggas can't do shit gracefully. That's that auntie that taught me that juju. So that's what I see, in black women. And I see that, a lot of our black women, they pick up white supremacist attitudes and they don't realize it, because that's what it is. It's oppression. And it's internal, infighting, oppressive behavior. Excuse me. And it's always easier to try to put someone down for being not what they say they are, or fake, because it's easier to deal with that of what you do not have. Excuse me. It's really humid here. I've been having this cough. Sorry. Yeah, so drop a hook. I noticed that. I do. I noticed that in black women, where grace is extinct. And we don't know how to have productive discussions with each other if we have differences. Excuse me, I'm gonna get some tissue and I will be right back. This is really irritating. Pardon me. All right, sorry about that. You know how it is. And I don't do a lot of medication and all that shit. So I wanted to show y'all this naturally healthy Mountain Ridge 100% pure raw honey. This is awesome. Some real good stuff. I got this from, it's a place here called BJ's. And they sell it in, you know, large, really big bottles. And then, of course, different sizes. This was about, I want to say this was about $10. And it's worth it. It's really good. I give this to my granddaughter too with her allergies, you know, with this pollen and everything that you hear me complaining about. And it's good for a dry cough like I have. You know, what I do is I use a tablespoon of it because I talk a lot. And what I do, you know, for work, I talk a lot every day, you know. And then, of course, you know, in the courtroom, we're in the litigation phase. We're learning the art of argument. So YouTube is perfect for me right now. But Mountain Ridge raw honey. This is awesome. I just take a tablespoon of it. You know, whenever I get real dry like that dry cough. It's real good. Goes down smooth. I put it in tea, cook with it, all kind of stuff. And guess what? It is in a mason jar. How about that? Let me quit bullshitting. But yeah, where were we? We were, women and low self-esteem. And how this is eucalyptus on this towel. I use a lot whenever I'm plugged up. From Now Whole Foods, if you look on my Empath Angie page, or on my Facebook, you know, my personal Facebook page, I post up some of this stuff sometime. I haven't been doing it a lot lately because I'm just bogged down with school and work and transitioning over into transferring credit, all kind of stuff going on, but that's beside the point. I'm going to start posting more on that page because I got some real good shit for y'all who are into the raw natural stuff. Excuse me. All right. But yeah, eucalyptus is good too. In between, you know, I just heat up a hot towel. You can do it in a microwave or in the sink. If your water get like here, it don't do this in Chicago. Like in my house in Chicago, the water didn't get that hot, so I had to turn the hot water heater up a notch on the thermostat. But here, these electric hot water heaters, ooh, so I just run that under the hot water faucet. A couple drops of eucalyptus, as hot as you can stand it. And then I just hold it over my face and inhale, and that helps a lot too. Tea tree oil does it. I put that in my tea, or just get a cotton swab and put it on the back of my tongue. It's disgusting, but it helps. See? Not hacking no more. So, yeah. Healthy self-esteem is important. And, you know, I see it a lot, you know, online and in real life. And it's a trickle down, you know. What we post online, you know, it's either determined by what we're going through in our personal lives or what we've been through with somebody else online. You know, and it's interesting, and it's saddening at the same time, because I like to see the good in people. You know, I like to see the positive in people, and it's my midnight hour coming in to steal from me. You know? I like to try to see the good in people, especially other Black women, because I think we're beautiful, you know, and we get so many different varieties. beauty is debatable to me because would you get off my yarn shirt? Thank you. Beauty is debatable to me because being in the fashion industry, entertainment industry, it's not one standard of beauty that I see in people, especially Black women. We're so unique. And it just really hurts me to see that there's so many Black women out here who really don't believe that they are beautiful, you know, inside and out, you know. And I've met some very beautiful women, very beautiful spirit, and they're going through so much internally, emotionally, mentally, being tortured by their past. And that creates trust issues, defense mechanisms pop up, you know, and they really don't have trust in themselves to be able to trust other people to let them in all the way. And I'm guilty of that too, you know. I've always been a guy's girl, a tomboy, a little bit of a roughneck growing up because I had 2 older brothers and 1 older sister. So I was tortured as a baby in a family. But I realize now why my brothers did that to me. They wanted me to be tough, you know, because I was so much younger than them. And they wanted to prepare me for what I'm seeing now and what I'm going through now, you know. And I'm just wiser from it. And I'm glad I did go through it. And I made some of the choices I made, good and bad, because I wouldn't be able to have that as a teaching tool, you know. So it's really hard, you know, for anybody to really truly like shame me by what is said or done, like what I've been through or whatever, because I don't really have shame in sharing, you know, with people what I've been through, just as a testament to say, look, God damn it, I went through all this bullshit. If I went through that, you can get through this too. And then I'll be here to try to fucking help you get through the shit. We'll get through it together. Some kind of way. We'll come up with a good resolution for it. But I'm noticing it seems like with some of us, some of our sisters, we just cannot back out or bow out gracefully of certain situations, especially when what I call, you know, cat marking contest. You know, women love to mark their territory, whether it's with their friends, their man, you know, and all of that. I noticed a lot of insecurities with that, you know, and a lot of over the top accolades for the successes, whether they be daily or annually, whatever. I see a lot of people just going all the way, doing the most, you know, and I always used to hear an ear hustle when elders would talk. You know, we had to get lost when our people had company. You know, when our parents had company, it was children to be seen and not heard. But you know, we always was listening. We always was trying to find out what they talking about. And I picked up a lot. I picked up a lot. And I hear married women talk back then in the mid-70s. And they say, you know, if a woman is happy at home, she don't have to announce it to everybody. That's really not everybody's business. You know, now that we have social media, you know, it's fine to be happy and excited and whatever. You know, people to each their own. But a person that's truly happy and at peace with themselves, I've noticed, you know, generally a consensus of people who are truly at peace. They don't really have to announce it. They don't have to uh, make a grandstand of sorts, if you will. You know, especially about your, you know, your marital status or your relationship status or whatever. And I'm all for healthy self-esteem. You know, hey, celebrate yourself. Yes, ma'am. But, you know, we have such a nice, nasty, snide, slick way of doing it to each other and around each other. You know, as Black women, it's just a really ugly part of our pathology. And I remember the sibling rivalry that I had. I didn't even know I was a part of it with my sister. I didn't find out we was competing until I was about 32 years old. And she walked up to me out of the blue and she was like, "You think you better than me, don't you?" And my sister's older than me. She's 6 years older than me. And I said, "What?" She said, "You think you better than me. You got all the friends and you popular and you was a cheerleader. You did all this stuff in high school." 32, and she's 6 years older than me. Mental illness is real. And at that point, it struck me. My sister has really low self-esteem. And I did not know she was comparing herself to me all that time. Because I used to look up to my sister when I was a young girl, like in grade school, junior high. And when she went away to college, she was the first one of the four of us to go to college. And then, of course, I followed behind shortly after once I completed high school. But I waited a year because I wanted to save up and purchase a car first before I went out of town with my little girl in a strange place. And uh, that conversation didn't last long, but some of the stuff that she said to me and some of the points she made to back up her allegation or speculation, it was really immature and it was really petty and it was really just a testament to how she felt about herself. Now, this is a very intelligent woman. I give her that because she is. I looked up to her astute skills. She's very good book smart. She was a very good student in high school. She was a very good student in college. And I remember I wanted to be just like her, you know, when I was younger. You know, people would say, "What do you want to do?" "I want to major in business management like my sister so we can open a business together." Because our initial dream as little girls was to open up a interior design company together. Excuse me, I'm just doing my eucalyptus. And we talked about that as little girls. And then, of course, you evolve, you know, you change, things change. But we said our goal as adults, we would open up a business together eventually. That was the start, an interior design company. She's very, very, very good with textiles. And I have a minor in interior design, fashion merchandising. And she's a very talented woman with that too. She's the color coordinator, and I'm the fly furniture picker outer and the window treatments and all that shit. So we always have had that parallel talent, if you will. And over the years, things change. You know, you have a family, you do stuff, you know, shit changes. But I always waited for that moment for my sister to come around, like for her to see that she was already beautiful, she was already smart, she was already powerful, she was already somebody up until that point that I looked up to, and I would often tell her, like, you are so awesome. Like, I want to learn from you. Like, and I had no idea. All our life, my sister resented me because in her mind, she assumed I thought I was better than her. And I was just a real carefree, free spirit. I always have been. I always have been a tomboy. Always have been, one of them. Why? Why do I have to do that? I don't care. I was always a sassy, spunky girl, you know, in most ways. And in other ways, I was timid and sheltered, and I didn't know no better when it came to other things that a lot of our Black women uh, are trying to really catch up and learn now, you know, and be not be ashamed of, where society and elders and men and shit slut shame you for certain stuff, or they, have this standard, a monolithic standard of what a beautiful Black woman should be, should sound like, should talk like, all that. And believe it or not, I was a bookworm most of my life. That's where my refuge was, to escape the madness at home. And I went to the library, and I spent a lot of time reading a lot. And books will take you all over the globe. And it's very therapeutic for those avid readers out there. Um, but I just noticed at that point it hit me that my sister had very low self-esteem despite all her accomplishments. She went to a historically Black university, Florida A&M University. She pledged sorority, aka crossed over. Very, very talented sales representative for the company she worked for many, many years. Married twice. Second husband. 2 beautiful children, fraternal twins, a boy and a girl. All the things society tells you will make you successful and should make you proud. She has. And she still is recovering from her childhood. And at that point, she had very low self-esteem. And at 32, it kind of shocked me because I was still a little bit sheltered and naive myself. Time helps you evolve and learn, some of us. And others, it just makes us grow more and more bitter as the years pass. And I always would look at my mother and see how lost she was and how broken she was and how she just would totally turn her head to some real foul shit, and a lot of the verbal and emotional abuse and neglect. It was just like it wasn't there. As long as you don't talk about it, it don't exist. That's the type of, setup it was. And I tried to always stay conscious of, I don't want to be carrying this baggage with me for another 10, 20, 30, 40 years, because I know that I grew up emotionally without a mama. She was in the house. She was there every day. She cooked, she cleaned, she did the house mama, housewife thing. But she was emotionally bankrupt by the time I was up enough size. And I always would feel so sad for her because I saw how lonely she felt and how lost she felt. And even though she was materially secure, the bills were paid, the food was in the house, the husband came home every night, our dad, she had very low self-esteem. And just observing all that all my life, I think it did scar me, but it did give me insight, better insight on how to deal with myself and others, and if I had a daughter, daughters, whatever, how to, how to help them have a healthy self-esteem, you know. And I think it's something that we all need to look deeper into, you know, instead of pontificating to each other what we should be doing and how we should be doing it and trying to shame each other. I think it would be better if we reach out to each other and show the kindness that we deserve to see from each other. And, I try to do that with everybody I meet to a certain degree. Sometimes I get myself over involved, and that's where my fuck ups are. And I still have not mastered that yet, because I have a very deep empathetic heart. And when you're an empath to the magnitude that I have been for so long, it's hard not to reach out when you see and feel somebody hurt. And you know what it is, and you know why. You just, we empaths just want to fix it. No matter what we have to go through, no matter how much abuse we suffer, we just want to be that thing for that person in that moment because of the pain that we see and feel through channeling. And I used to channel my mother a lot, and she suffered from severe depression and very, very chronic mood swings. And she was very threatened by, just the knowledge that I had learned just from reading books. A lot of our mothers in that generation, very superstitious, very shallow and sheltered view of what a woman is, or how to shape a girl into a woman, because they were ignorant to a lot of things, and they were indoctrinated, with dogmatic belief systems. So the tribalistic ways of our ancestors and elders, they were thrown out the window with desegregation and whatnot. So, and it comes along with other things too. Society, we pick wrong partners, we get up with wrong peers, boss at work, co-workers. Some of us have been bullied as children. Some of us are bullied as adults. It's a lot of different factors that can go into why a woman has low self-esteem. And me personally, I look at it, different than a lot of people. That's why people call me crazy, because when you take somebody's power away and, you own your own flaws and you see that your flaws are beautiful, even though they are fucked up, that's what makes you unique. It's really hard to hurt my feelings, and I've come across other women like that too. So I'm not damn fucking unique. I'm just saying it's a unique view. It's a unique way of handling it. So the question I have is, why do Black women feel like they have to be the most ruthless, ugly, classless, tacky person in a dispute or an argument? We can't ever just say how we feel to each other and move along. It has to be something else and something else and something else. I happen to have a mind like an elephant. I remember everything. Sometimes you gotta jog my memory, other times it comes right away. And I will clap back quick too. However, as I get older, I realize it's just not even worth it unless it's something that is totally foul and fucked up. You know, if it's a blatant lie, then I'm gonna track that ass until I fucking make your head bust. But, you know, petty shit like you ugly, you know, or that's why your car got repossessed, you know, shit like that. It just says more, it speaks more about the person shooting off those barbs than it does about the person that's in the crosshairs, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to touch on that. You know, Black women and low self-esteem. And why do we allow outside input to create us to be so abusive to each other? You know, like we'll do the most to impress a dude because he enjoys watching a cat fight. You know, shit like that. You know, once you reach your late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, that type of shit really should be put to sleep. Like, you know, and that's what I see here now with our young girls looking up to us. They don't really have much to respect, which is why they talk to us the way they do, and they look at us the way they do, you know, and they beginning to read our title clear in a lot of cases. The older, supposed to be elders, the reason of the village. It's interesting. It really is. It's really interesting. And how, you know, Black women would rather reach for criticizing someone else's accomplishments as opposed to being inspired by that sister and say, you know what? I see your drive. I see your struggle. I see your hustle. And I'm going to try to parlay that into my own. And then we'll take this damn journey together. And I want mine to come out this way. And I want yours to come out the way you want it to. And then we can eventually put them two together. We might be able to make beautiful music together. That's what my goal is. You know, not just like-minded people, but people who have different viewpoints as well. Because it doesn't mean one or the other is wrong. It's just different. And if you can add on something different and it's along the same line, same type of genre, what you're working on, that's a good thing. But sadly, you know, Black folks as a whole and Black women, you know, just generally speaking, many of us have a very monolithic train of thought. That example I gave, you know, we got 5 friends. You know, there's 3 on this side and 2 on that side. These 2 fell out with the other 3. So there's one that just is not involved, but everybody is waiting for her to pick a side, and they put pressure on her to pick a side. And she's like, I'm not picking a side. I'm picking what's righteous. I'm getting your ass. I'm getting your ass. So I got 4 people on my ass trying to make me pick a side. And I'm supposed to not like them because you don't. And I'm not supposed to like them because you don't. So how about we all just hash this shit out so we can move forward and find our differences and try to have them come together. And if not, we just move on. It didn't work out. Personalities don't match up too good. So let's just bid each other adieu and say, Godspeed, you know, blessings, bless up, whatever it is you want to say, positive, to send them off on a positive note, you know. So it says a lot about the person and how they feel when, you know, they're confronted with their own pathology yet they can point yours out, or they can tell you what you should have done in a situation that you had no idea about what went down. You know, they can check you on how you allowed some other shit to happen, yet there's a double standard. They allow other shit to jump off, and you better not say nothing to them about that. But you were supposed to so and so and so with this. Same type of situation, just different people. So that's a sign of low self-esteem. That's a sign of toxic self-speak. That's a sign of you're still not quite recovered from whatever it is that mentally and emotionally scarred you. And that's why I am such a fierce advocate of bullying and a bunch of bullshit and you know, just the whole bashing thing, you know, because it just is counterproductive to what we all really here for, and that's to fight a common enemy. And I see more infighting, especially among women, than I do us going after the common enemy, which is people snatching our kids, people raping our sisters, people shooting our brothers down in the street, our husbands, brothers, sons. We don't go at that enemy half as viciously as we do each other. And psychological warfare among Black women is really, 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 really a big thing right now. You know, and I always say I'm the worst person to fuck with and try to call out, because I will fuck with you back and it's not going to be pretty. Because, you know, I really don't give a fuck. And like certain things that I've been through, I wouldn't change it. Now, I'm not ashamed of it. But you see people that, you know, they look at, well, goddamn, why she ain't tripping, she ain't tripping. No, I'm not, because I know we all go through some shit. So I'm not the only person who has been through shit. I'm not the only person who have fucked up. I'm not the only person who have made bad choices. So why am I going to be ashamed of what I went through when I know somebody else is going through the same shit? That's part of being human. But again, you know, the Black female culture, you better be perfect. And I'm going to pretend like I'm perfect. And I'm going to stand up on perfection. And I'm going to act like I've never been through anything. And I'm going to talk to every sister that I meet as if I have never been through shit. And I'm going to look down on her and try to patronize her for what she's going through now. It's always that way. I'm not going through it. Longer than they be, I feel great. There's no empathy anymore. And if it is, it's misguided. You know. And I notice women are really, really now into playing into gossip mills, rumor mills. And I did a video years back. It always is what they say it ain't. If somebody tells you, well, you know, I'm not trying to offend you, however, yeah, you are. You know, I don't mean to get in your business, but yeah, you do. Yes, you do. And that squashes it usually. You know, don't have to be ugly about it. But I know a lot of people, you know, somebody did that to me the other day. You know, they was like, you know, I know you don't know me that well and stuff like that. And, you know, we have a mutual friend, me and this person that approached me. And I'm very, very close to the mutual friend. She's the woman that I stayed with when I first moved to North Carolina. And she was very gracious and opened up her home to us. And we've been like sisters ever since 2000 or 1999. It's been a long time. It's been over 10 years, I know that. So, we made a plan for me to come down here and stay with her. And I met a couple people that she knew since she's been living here. And so this individual came and asked me a question. And she said, I'm really not trying to pry. I said, yeah, you are. And I just smiled at her. And I wasn't offended or anything. I just said, yeah, you are. And she hit the roof. We had our little talk. And I said, well, I just, prefer not to discuss that because I'm just not comfortable with talking about that with you. And it really offended her that I said that. And she didn't think I was serious. She thought I was playing. That's another thing. We don't take each other serious. Like Black women in general, we don't take each other serious. And we always like to feel like the one we sit next to is dumber than us. I've noticed that too. And it's really unfortunate. It's really sad because the more you have to elevate yourself by stepping on somebody else's back or mocking their misfortunes, again, it just says more about your character than it does about the woman that you bash you. And that's something that I learned over the years to be true. It's true because I heard it all the time coming up, growing up, And then women in the A&B church, they don't play. They'll tell you about your ass and cuss you out in the church, in the lobby, in the fucking foyer. But, a lot of those proverbs and old wives' tales and things, they are very true and still true today. I guess as long as there's people, we're going to have that. However, if we're more conscientious of it among ourselves, it is better. I think it's better, a better way to be able to take those tools and teach our youth how to mother better and how to be a better sister, how to be a better friend, how to be a better advocate, how to be a better confidant, how to be a better woman, how to be a better wife. That's the type of stuff I look at. If we doing this to each other now, what do our kids think? Do we go back and correct that and say, you know what? I had an idiot moment. I went in. I shouldn't have did that. And I go in on YouTube. My kids know how I am. And they know that I'm a psychological beast and I'm just fucking with people. I would never in person, ongoing in a long-term relationship, treat somebody like that. They know that. They know that mama is always absorbing information and testing, doing social experiments and shit. But my true friends, close, that I look at as family, I don't do that. I drop the ego and the fucking all that when I'm dealing with people I truly, truly love. But we really need to find more love for each other. I feel we do as sisters, as Black women, because we have so much to offer each other. And pride and ego is one of the biggest things that get in our way when it comes to being vulnerable. Nobody wants to admit that they've been hurt. Nobody wants to admit that they've been played. Nobody wants to admit that they, their water was off for a week because they, in between jobs, that nobody wants to admit their car got repossessed. Nobody wants to admit those things, that we fuck up as women. We fuck up. We do dumb shit sometimes. Some of us do dumb shit all the time. Some of us, we make mistakes. We overlook some shit. Nobody's perfect. But, to be petty on purpose, ongoing, and whenever you're feeling bad, you have to throw out, a really illogical, over-emotional, hypersensitive clap back. It really says more about you and your character than the person that you're throwing it at. Because I can be fake all day long. People call me fake every day. Every fucking day. People that don't even know me call me fake. On and offline. I met another little girl the other day. She was 20-something. I was sitting in on a student counseling session, and we introduced ourselves. We were talking, and I was observing as a student. And after the little session, we talked, me and a young lady, and then I just told her, I hope everything works out for you, and thank you so much for letting me sit in on such a private moment for you. I really appreciate it, and I'm honored that you trusted me, a stranger, enough to listen, to this session. And as she was walking away, I don't know if it was her mom or another relative, said, "Oh, that was nice. What did she say?" And the young girl said, she said some old fake shit to me. I don't know. I really wasn't listening. I was like, "Ooh, wow." That was a quick blink. You know what I'm saying? And I meant what I said. I'm very grateful for that. She didn't have to let me sit in on that. She could have said, "No, this is between me and you know, my counsel. So I don't want that you in here." And I would have politely left because it's privileged information. But she let me stay, and I was able to learn what I needed to learn, and being gracious, just being gracious. I was called fake by a complete stranger. That just shows how out of touch we are with ourselves, with the natural way women, back in the day, grandmama, just a natural way of womanliness that gives you a feeling of warmth and happiness and positivity, real strength, where you can smile when you want to scream, and you see somebody needs encouragement, you can still reach for them and still keep yourself in check too. Because a lot of women, I notice, we lead with our emotions, and that's really dangerous. Very dangerous to lead with our emotions. We get caught up in such snags and snares when we lead with our emotions. That's another thing, empaths, it's hard for us to compartmentalize sometimes. We get emotional. We feel like, oh God, we need a remedy. We need a fix. We got to do this. We're going to make this my project. Take all the pain away. And we end up getting bit in the ass by a viper. There's a lot of vipers out there. Whew. Now I'm getting sleepy. Ain't that some shit? 8 o'clock in the morning. But I just wanted to throw that out there, to see what people think about that, and going forward, how we can do better, treat ourselves better, so we can begin to treat each other better, and kind of, alleviate some of the goddamn cat fighting, infighting, and, purposeful extra drama that we see going on, And right now, as far as socialization, I haven't had much of a social life, this month. Last month I was able to take a nice little break and get a change of scenery, and it was amazing. But we need to invest in ourselves more that way too. Travel before you settle down and hook up with somebody. Invest in yourself. Do shit. Go see shit. Ask questions. Get into yourself more. That's what I would love to see our Black women doing. Just get a passport and leave. You know what I'm saying? I did it. Like I said, I did it last month. And I'm going to do it again this month. And I'm taking my granddaughter with me. I was just working on it today. It's my passport, her passport. We get ready to go back to Casablanca. So, I now have extended family out there. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to do something a little bit out of the ordinary of what you're used to doing, and it stretches your comfort zone. It makes it bigger. It's not stepping outside of it, Because if you're comfortable with this and you do something else enough, you be comfortable with that too. So you're just stretching it. You're making it bigger. Your comfort zone is broadening. Our self-speak is very important, you know. And a lot of us lie to ourselves, you know, because we're medicating that below the surface of where we have to plaster on this face. And underneath, we are really, truly suffering in silence. You know, and again, being an empath, I can see it. I see it just like that. I see a lot of projection. You know, I'm like, you know, you coming to me for something, but then you tell me that's what I'm doing, but you're doing it. So then when I mirror it, I'm being a bitch or a bully. But, you know, just we need to treat ourselves better. We need to improve our self-speak every day. Develop mantras, you know. People been talking about the sticky notes on the walls in my house. Some of them are mantras. Places where I feel I need to work on for me, you know, that negative self-speak that I find myself doing to myself, I write down a mantra. And I look at it every day when I get up or before I go to sleep or while I'm doing whatever. I sit here in this little office space / sleeping quarters and I think about what I need to do to fix what's fucked up. And I just take one bite at a time and deal with it. You know, so if that is what makes me fake, because I would like to see as many as my sisters empowered and take life by the nuts and kick ass and take names, you know. I've had black men tell other women that I'm jealous of them. I'm like, I'm too fucking busy to be jealous of somebody else. And then they have to have something that I want, which is really nothing because she's a woman too. So her life is hers. Whatever she built, however she constructed it, and however she designed her life, that's hers. I don't want somebody else's life because along with somebody else's life comes somebody else's problems. Don't make no sense to be jealous, you know. And I've been called fake because I don't mind giving people a compliment on another woman. You know, if I see she looks beautiful that day, I'm telling her, you look gorgeous. I love your outfit, or your hair is really beautiful. Whatever. Beauty for me is debatable. I was a model for a long time. I was in the music industry for a long time. I did a little bit of fashion design, not major, but beauty is debatable. It's flexible, you know. So we need to stop really listening to these negative mantras and stop the negative self-speak, you know. And you know, people have come in and out of my life because of that, just because of that. Because I see there's things there that I may have grown past, or I'm no longer struggling with it. And it's almost as if they can't believe that I have moved on, like for real. Because they're still straight. It's hard sometimes when you're close to a situation. It's hard to see other people's progress because you kind of still stuck, you know. I see that a lot in black women. They're stuck, you know, and you say, well, what helped me get unstuck is maybe that can help you. I don't know, but well, I'm willing to talk to you about it and give you some examples of what I endured so that maybe can touch a part of you to help you kind of ease on out of there too and find a better peace of mind. That's fake. So I just, I really want to see that part healed. I really want to see that subside a little bit, where we stop going at each other's neck all the time, competing over or for attention, and really truly be honest with ourselves. Because it ain't easy. I'm telling you right now. It ain't easy looking in the mirror every day. It ain't easy telling yourself, this is where you fucked up at. This is where you need to get your shit together so you don't have to go through that shit ever again no more. That ain't easy. Some of us get it the first time. Some of us don't get it till time number 20. Some of us don't ever get it. But those of us who do get it, eventually get it, why reach up to tear her down? She did or said something you didn't like, so you got to go at her whole family tree, and go through each and every mistake she made in her life and dump it on top of her head like a load of bricks because she pissed you off. Women are very, very, very brutal. Very nasty when they want to be. I know I can go there. I can get real nasty. But that's only in situations like what I have on my hands now with this online stupid shit. And this for me is just a way to pass time. When I fuck with people like that, it's because I'm bored. Like yesterday morning rather, I was just fucking bored. And I'm sick, so I'm not working. I took a little sick time off. And I did a lot of reading, did a lot of studying, played with the new pooch, and I fuck with folks. So if it's okay for the trolls and the haters to do it, let me do a little too there. I'm human. But on all bullshit aside, I really want to see my sisters treat ourselves better and develop a better, more healthy self-speak. And I'll do another one on this another time too, especially once I get rid of this snot. But I just wanted to throw that out there. And what y'all think, sisters? This is for the sisters. And it helps to pick a partner if you're going to have a partner. It helps to pick a partner who can see the beauty in you too. Who is not in competition with you. I see a lot of couples and they don't know it, but they're in competition with each other. And when you point it out to them in such a way, it's an eye-opener. It's an eye-opener. So I want to thank everybody for the prayers and the well wishes and all that during this time when I've been sick. I swear I just cleared up that other shit that lasted a fucking month. And then this kid sneezed and it was all over with. So I know it's more to it than that though, because there's some other spiritual shit that I'm witnessing, going on. And that's a whole nother horse of another color. But we're going to get rid of that too. That's just Leviathan. That's all that is. Hi, haters. So y'all, I'm getting ready to go in my vampire lair before the sun come all the way up. I might just watch the sunrise. I really do love watching the sunrise and sunset. Get me some Z's. My sleep schedule's all fucked up now, so y'all be good to yourself for real. Treat yourself good. Don't be ashamed of taking those things that you deserve. Don't be ashamed of going for it. We've been told so long, generation after generation, humility means being accepting of abuse and neglect. Being humble and being a lady is being meek and timid and subversive and not taking that last fucking cupcake or licking your fingers after you eat some damn barbecue beef ribs. You know, we have been told to act like second-class citizens in order to be accepted as women. That's why I get so much heat, because I have a foul mouth. I don't have a filter when I'm on some bullshit. And, you know, I really just don't fear anything with two legs standing upright, looking me in my eyes. I fear no man or woman. You know, and words don't really mean shit. It's not what you think, it's what you can prove. You know, it's not what your opinion don't fucking matter. It's what's accurate and what's factual that count. So I'm starting to lose my voice again. I just got it back earlier and it's now squeaking again. So peace. Get ready to go hit the sack. First I'm gonna do some yoga. Watch this sun come up. I think I'm gonna take little Queen Bella for a run and then I'll hit the hay. That'll help me sleep. Peace out, family. One love, one unity. And again, thank you everybody for everything. Thank you for riding with me. Thank you for believing in me. I'm just I've been very grateful the past 3 or 4 months. Gratitude has just been really swollen inside my soul because I've seen a lot in the past 2 years. And very interesting. Very interesting. So I hope everybody is happy out there, getting to a happy. And if you're on your way, whatever you see at the horizon that you want, I hope you get everything you deserve. I really do. And happiness is a blessing too. When you find your peace and your space where you're happy, it's nothing like it. I'm glad I got my happy back because it took me about 7 years to do it. So once you get your peace, guard it with your motherfucking life. Don't let nobody come in and try to snatch your peace from you. No matter what's going on in your life, don't ever second guess what makes you happy and what makes you feel whole and what brings you healing into your family, your life, your home. Because these motherfuckers online really don't mean shit unless you have actually truly been able to commune with them and find a happy medium to where it's a firm foundation. Motherfuckers come and go. That's just life. They there for a reason, a season, or to teach you something or a lesson. And I've learned quite a few. And I don't really look at it as it's not something I'm bitter about. I'm not angry about it. I'm just like, wow, okay. You know, I guess I could do that because I had such a fucking ruthless mama. So when women come in and out of my life, it really don't really faze me a lot. You know, it doesn't bother me like it used to. But I do, you know, I do record it, you know, and I do write it down for future reference, you know, as like an example, a placebo, like, you know what, this what I went through, let me show you this. You going through something similar, so maybe we can kind of find a solution in all of that somewhere with all this shit, this information. So I hope everybody is blessed for real. I hope everybody is working on what they need to work on to get they happy, keep they happy, or retrieve and get they happy back. So Hotep fam, one love, one unity. I am my sister's keeper. Love your fam. Fuck your haters. Y'all have a good day. I'll be back at you later.